Thank you for watching Hack the File. I'm Michael Lopez, and on today's episode, we're going to be looking at Tribe of Hackers cybersecurity advice from the best hackers in the world. Enjoy. All right, so we're back. We are back from the holiday seasons, and I'm glad they're over. I mean, it was fun, but I'm ready to get back to work and get things going. You know what I mean? Um, been locked up and just eating holiday food, which is awesome. Um, been reading books and studying, and I came across this other couple. I came across a couple books that I want to make videos of, but as you guys know, one of my favorite books is Tribe of Hackers, and so we're gonna go here on Tribe of Hackers. And this one, I've done videos on all the Tribe of Hackers, and I own them all digitally, and I think I own a couple of physical books too. And they're just awesome books. Okay, they're by Marcus J. Carey and Jennifer Jane. So we're gonna read a little bit about them and stuff like that, like we always do about the author and all that. But these books are cool. And if you don't know about Tribe of Hackers, and watch my previous videos. Um, if you haven't watched my previous videos, I'm gonna go over a little bit about what Tribe of Hackers are and Tribe of Hackers is, um, and the ideas behind them. I mean, it's a brilliant idea and a brilliant concept for a book. What I like to do is I like to grab a physical copy of this, or just the digital copy, and I like to get real comfortable, right, or by a fire or whatever, and just read these things. I mean, these books are really cool, um, and they're just a good read, right? And they give you just some more insight into cybersecurity um, that you wouldn't have before, right? And it's just another, like I said, it's another resource to getting more insight into cybersecurity. So let's go ahead and start this, right? So this one's Cybersecurity Advice from the Best Hackers in the World, Tribe of Hackers by Marcus J. Carey and Jennifer Jin. It's produced by Wiley. Um, it always goes in. We'll always go into the concept of it, and this is his thanks introduction. Um, okay, here we go. For the last year, I've listened to hundreds of hours of audio books while going to and from work and while walking my dogs. One of the books that really impressed me was Tribe of Mentors by Timothy Ferris, and it stands as an inspiration for this book's concept. I highly recommend this thought provoking read on life and business, especially if you're a fan. Blah blah blah. For his book, Ferris asked people from his impressive network of 11 questions, and then the magic just happened. For me, this immediately sparked the idea that there should be a cybersecurity version of this book. So I compiled the most common questions people ask about cybersecurity and then narrowed it down to a list that you're about to see. In total, I ended up with 14 questions. The questions start with views of cybersecurity at large and then become more personal. I noticed that when I have conversations at conferences, this is the normal flow. We call types of conversation hallway con, because some of the best learning happens between the scheduled talks and events. After compiling the questions, I started reaching out to my network of friends and colleagues in this industry and asked them to be part of this book. I was humbled by the response. In total, we ended up with 70 inspiring and thought provoking interviews with the notable hackers, including such luminaries as Leslie Carhart, David Kennedy, and Bruce Potter. But before we launch into the interviews, let's take a quick look at the questions. If there is one myth that you could debunk in cybersecurity, what would it be? So here, here's the list of all these questions. We're gonna go through them before we wrap. Before we wrap up, a quick note about the book. We edited every interview to improve flow and readability, and in some cases, this meant irrever- abbreviating answers or deleting non-responses. You'll also notice that we've included contact information at the beginning of each biography, indicating where you can find each hacker on the web, as well as social media. We're an engaged and tight knit group, and hope you'll join us. Creating this book has been an amazing journey. I bet it was, and I hope the answer to these questions help guide you along your path. So, the basic concept of this, okay. Marcus J. Carey, I guess, got the idea from somewhere else, but he thought, we should cybersecurity should have a book like that. And basically, what it is that he, as we read, he takes 14 questions and he asks 100 different people in the his colleagues. He's been in the industry for, I guess, 30 years or something like that. We're going to read a little bit about him here in a second. And he knows a lot of people like on Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff. And he reached out to him and he asked them he asked them all the same 14 questions, and he gets different responses. But it's just fun to read because what you're doing is, like you said, you're imagining yourself standing in a hallway and you're talking to these brilliant minds of hacking or whatever, or thought leaders or whatever you want to call them, or just hackers, other hackers like you, or people that are interested in hacking that actually have some experience and some life experience and stuff like that. And you're asking them the same questions, and you're just getting different answers, and then you're kind of putting together like your own thoughts and your own perspective on it, and what people say, and what your experiences are. It's just really cool. It's a cool concept. It's a really cool book. And he this guy has a bunch of other books. He has Tribe of Hackers Defense. He has Tribe of Hackers. Let me see what else do I have. um, Let me look just really quick. Let me look. I don't want to get too crazy off topic, but so let me look at my Tribe of Hackers right here. I think I have them in here. I should. So here goes Tribe of Hackers Red Team, and if you and I made videos on all of these, right? Because I love the Tribe of Hackers. Then you have Tribe of Hackers Blue Team, Tribe of Hackers Blue Team, and then you have Tribe of Hackers Security Leaders. And what he's doing is he's going and asking these people different these are different 14 questions, right, for each one. But he's asking them like the questions that are relevant to like red team hacking, and security leaders and stuff like that. And so this one is just advice, okay? And I don't know what order they are. I mean, this might be the first one, and we could even look at the years. But this might be his first one. It sounds like, I don't know. And then, but I've read them all and I own them all, and they're just great books. So we'll go in here. We'll go back in here. Here he is, and this is Marcus J. Carey. Even if an organization is compromised by a zero-day attack, the lateral movement, registry manipulation, network communication, and so on will be apparent to a mature cybersecurity practitioner and programmer. So, what I get from what he's saying right there means that even if it's, you know, um, even if somebody compromises your system, all this, the lateral movement, whatever, all that stuff should be, it will be detected or apparent to a mature sub. I mean, they're going to be able to see the the log, like the logs and stuff, and they're going to be able to, hopefully you have stuff set up where you can see the flags, and so you're going to know what he's doing or what she is doing or what they are doing when they're attacking. Is what I get from that. So whatever. So then we'll move on to here. So Marcus J. Carey is a cybersecurity community advocate, startup founder with more than 25 years of protecting government commercial sensitive data. He started his cybersecurity career in the U.S. Navy cryptology with further service in the National Security Agency. So he worked for the NSA. So this dude knows a little bit about cybersecurity. You know what I'm saying? um, if there is one, so I think he starts off by asking himself the 14 questions first, right? And so what we're gonna do in this review is we're gonna pick maybe four people, and we're gonna pick maybe two or three questions, and we're gonna I mean, maybe four or five. How much time we have, right? How much, depending on how much time we have, and we're gonna pick a couple girls, couple guys. We're gonna keep it inclusive. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get perspectives from men and women, right? Or something like that. All right. Let's do one question for him. If there is one myth that you could debunk in cybersecurity, what would it be? And this is what he says. The biggest myth that I hear is how attackers are always changing up their tactics. While it is true that new exploits come out over time, the initial exploit is just a tip of the iceberg when it comes to an attacker's movement on a system or network. Even if an organization is compromised by a zero-day attack, okay, so here he said that. All right, now let's pick. So what we can do is we can go over here, and each chapter is dedicated to a different person. So let's do like I said, and let's let's start with whoever. Let's start with Zaitberg. All right, Zaitberg. You have to, and they always start, and they always start with like the best, I guess, the best quote in one of these questions. So I say we do that. You have to learn to balance the technical stewardship of securing all things with understanding the motivations and drivers of the business. And you have to figure out how to get everyone to take ownership of the security of their products and system. I like that. And then we're going to read about the person. Twitter, and here's his Twitter, and here's his website, blogzate.org. Currently employed as a security leader, Zaitberg has knowledge in a wide variety of technologies and prides himself on being able to quickly spot security problem areas and recommended corrective actions. He's especially interested in application security, vulnerability management, network security monitoring, and penetration testing. Zate enjoys the challenge of pushing the limits of existing technologies, mastering new technologies quickly, and solving the hardest problems. He seeks to challenge himself in everything he does, building relationships through teaming, coaching, and sharing of ideas, and does so in a manner that builds integrity and trust. We're going to read this first one. If there is one myth that you can debunk in cybersecurity, what would it be? That free tools and free software are free. Often they are not. Free means you need expertise in systems that are often poorly documented. Oh my gosh. You need more people to manage it, and it will take longer. When working out of cost, factors in cost of time to value, how long it takes before doing what you need, the cost to learn it, and the cost in terms of hardware and people to make it work. There is no such thing as free. It always costs you something. So so this is why this is so cool. So you'll read this guy, and from what you read about him, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's just giving you some life experience that he has learned, I guess, over time in the industry. And basically, what he's saying is that when companies buy these they want to save money, right? I mean, because that's part of the evaluation of somebody. Like if they're evaluating to see what kind of cybersecurity you need set up or something like that. Let's say, risk management guy or whatever, and they say, hey, they ask the questions of the company, hey, how much money can you need? How much money can you spend, right? Let's say it's an up and coming business. An up and coming business has got about 20 employees or whatever, and they're like, look, we need to save money on this, right? He's basically saying that if the common thing would be like, okay, let's try this free tool and get it running. That'll save us a lot of money, on yearly contracts and all this stuff, paying for it, all this whatever. We'll just do it ourselves and it's free. He's saying it's not, if you do all the other factors in, it's not really free. It's going to cost you more. So this is awesome. This is awesome advice. I mean, that's just right off the back, some really cool advice that people don't. You're not going to really understand that until you hit the industry and you have experience in it. So you can go to school and you can learn that, and somebody's saying, and that's what they're teaching you. They're saying, if it's the needs, if the needs of the company, they don't have that much money, do you want to go with probably free tools and stuff like that. But he's telling you, yeah, there's nothing's for free. So that's pretty cool. Okay, let's go to another one. um what is your specialty in cybersecurity, and how can others gain expertise in your specialty? And this would be a good one too. Let's just ask these two questions. I guess my specialty now is building cybersecurity programs and security teams for companies that lack one or other or both. See, and that's basically what his specialty is what he was talking about. So he's setting up cybersecurity programs, and to do that, you need to find out what they need and what's the best path for them. In the past, it's been either TVM or AppSec, depending on the company. And I did a bit of game security for online games, which it turned out I was good at. So getting into security management has been interesting. It's a whole new ball game. You start to realize that all your issues in security are people problems. Tech isn't hard, process isn't hard. We can do those. It's the people that are difficult. Man, that's awesome. So learn how to deal with people. Learn what makes the people around you tick, what motivates them, what is important to them. In security leadership, you will be negotiating with either your team, your peers, your leadership, over many things, great many things. You have to learn to balance the technical stewardship of securing all things. And there's his quote, right? So his quote was in this question. So that was a good question I picked. You have to figure out how to get everyone to take ownership of the security of their products and their systems. It is a constant cycle of negotiating and influencing others, often without being in the right place in the organization or having the right resources. So pay attention to people around you, above you, and below you. Tech isn't hard, process isn't hard. We can do those. It's people that are difficult. And then they pull out like a little quote. I like this. Well done. All right, I like Zateberg. Okay, let's see somebody else. We're gonna ask a couple questions on each one. Maybe just different questions. Let's pick a girl. Leslie. That could be a girl or a guy. Oh, that's a girl. Okay. Leslie Carhart. Leslie Carhart. Take time to understand the risks and the threats you face. It may not be beneficial for every organization to know which specific countries or criminal organizations that are targeting them, but every organization should know that their worst possible day, what their worst possible day looks like. Damn, that's a good one. I like that one. All right, hack for pancakes. She hacks for pancakes. She likes pancakes. Twitter. Tissyphone.net is her website. So if you want to go look her up some more, they always provide this. This is another thing that's great about this book. All right, Leslie Carhart. She's a GCIH. She's a Grim. She's a GCFA and all this stuff. She's got a bachelor's in network technologies from DePaul University. Is a 18-year IT industry veteran, including 9 years in information security, specifically digital forensics and incident response. I love digital forensics. You know why? Because it's hard. She speaks and writes about digital forensics and incident response, OSINT, and information security careers. She is highly involved in the Chicano land. No, I'm just kidding. Chicagoland Information Security Community, and is staff at Circle City Con in Indianapolis. Leslie is currently the principal threat hunter at Dragos. Oh man, Inc. In her free time, she's a principal threat hunter. In her free time, she studies three martial arts. Oh man, I like her already. She studies three martial arts, is a competitive pistol marksman, hijuela, and is generally an all-round huge geek. Pfft, sounds like she's a CIA agent or something like that, man. What you about to talk about geek? I guess geeks could be CIA agents too. Um, well, let me see what she looks like. She looks like she studies kung fu, tai chi, and jujitsu or judo. I don't know. All right, let's do the first one. Is there any one myth that you could debunk in cybersecurity? I bet you she does taekwondo. She looks like a taekwondo person. Is there any one? Okay, what would that be? The organizations we work with are rarely in the business of security. We are security professionals providing a service to organizations with their own mission. The sooner we understand that, the sooner we can stop asking counterproductive questions such as, why don't you just, regarding IT decisions? That's a good one. A good security professional studies the technical minutiae of their niche. A great security professional also studies business operations and assists their senior leadership in making pragmatic risk decisions that balance operation and security. I mean, that was just a little bit too smart for me. Yeah. A great security professional also studies business operation and assists their senior leadership in making pragmatic risk decisions based on that balance operations and security. Okay, that's a good one. Um, Basically, she's saying that um, get to know your. Don't just go in and think that what you're trying to do is you know uh, what is hold on providing service organizations and their mission. So basically, you're not just going to go in there and one size fits all. You got to go in there and get to know what their mission is. You're helping your client do their vision and their mission, and it's always going to be different per industry, right? And so why don't you just this and that, whatever? You got to listen to them and help them on different levels, right? That's basically how I read that. Let's go to that one. Let's go to that. Let's just do you need a college degree or certification to be a cybersecurity professional? You don't need a college degree or certification, but it can certainly help boost your career from an HR perspective. There are many possible paths to becoming a successful professional in the cybersecurity field. Study hard, getting a 4-year degree, and then applying for an entry level position is a fairly common one. Degrees and credible certifications can also help later in one's career while pursuing promotions in management. That's always uh, um, uh that's always like a mandatory thing. Unfortunately, sometimes it's not, but you got to have like 20 years of experience, academic, or you got to just be good and good. What do you call that? Networker or an ass kisser, maybe, I don't know, or know what you're doing. Academic or senior leadership positions. Unfortunately, at the time of this writing, I have seen few cybersecurity specific degree programs that produce well rounded security professionals. While degrees are a great tool for learning fundamentals, clearing HR hurdles, and increasing promotion potential, I like that. I would strongly caution against assuming that they will teach all the skills needed to succeed in the field. Man, that's every degree, or even to clear technical interviews. Self study and community participation are still crucial to success. So, this is what my channel is about, right? Self study and community participation. So that's what my channel is, right? That's what we do here on this channel on Hack the File. We are not, oh, we're hackers. Hack the File sounds like a cool name, but you know, it was something that came to me in a dream. Just kidding. Anyways, so I mean, it's not. I mean, obviously, I'm not a hacker. I don't go and hack systems and stuff, right? Uh, and, I hack my own little systems. I do my own things, but I don't. I'm not a bad actor or anything like that. I got a degree, but I encourage self study on this channel, right? So if you're gonna, if you know, and I'm going for a master's degree too in cyber operations and all that. But the thing is, on my side, I'm self studying. I am practicing self studying. I'm teaching myself with these books. I am, and here's the lovely thing about self study and um, that I hope that you guys take to heart when you watch this video. This is the most important thing. I want to tell you guys, uh, on my channel, and I hope you take it to heart. Self study is you can is you studying and learning everything that you personally want to. So you're not being told. Somebody's not saying, hey, like your degree, you have to take this class, this class. So pick one, right? And most of these classes, you're like, man, this sucks. I don't even want to learn this. And then some of them, you think they suck, and then you're like, man, actually, that was a great. I'm glad they told me about that, right? But that's rare. Usually, self study is better. So what I do is I combine both, and that's why I make these videos. I make these videos for you guys, but I make these videos for me as well, because it keeps me motivated in learning self study stuff. So you're gonna at school they're telling me what I have to learn, and I'm jumping through hoops, and I'm going yes, yes, and I'm getting A's and B's and C's or whatever I'm getting, and then when I get bored, or when I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what, I am interested. I'm reading an article or something. I'm interested in this, and I go and buy a book on it, and I self study it. And so you're that's the love of it, right? Um, the and here's my advice: anytime you get an itch or an urge to learn something, go and do it if you have the means to. Now, sometimes people don't have money to buy books, and it's harder to get the information free. Sometimes I don't have it free, but and a lot of you guys, I know you see these books, and you're like, well, you how can you afford $15 a book, whatever you want? That's because I work, and I've gotten to a point in my life to where I can do that, but I haven't always been like that. And a lot of things I wanted to learn and do, I didn't have the resources to do, so I just had to forget about it, and then hopefully I come back to it later. But now I have that luxury of doing that, and that's like my one expenditure and addiction is books. I love, like, so I'll sit here and I'll just come up with something and go, you know what, I'm interested in, and I'll go get that book and I'll study it. So self study is very important, and you can combine it with anything else. All right, let's pick another one. Uh, let's do Deidre Diamond. Let's do another girl, and then let's do another guy. All right. So Deidre Diamond. We now live in a work culture of teams, and teamwork being the only one to achieve success. If you can't work efficiently and positively with others, you will not climb the corporate ladder. I like this. This is an ideal quote. But I'm gonna tell you right now, there is toxic people that are climbing that toxic ladder, that are stepping on others' heads, and if they meet that person that they can control, and usually they can, because they are smart and manipulative without them knowing, then they can climb that corporate ladder. But I love this quote. It's beautiful. This is the way it should be. This is the way, and that should. I don't like to say should. This is the way it needs to be in the industry. Everybody needs to be positive, and they need to be working as a team. But like I said, you don't get that with. There's a lot of toxic people in this world, and once these toxic people get a hold of like a weak person or something in leadership that doesn't understand what they're doing, then yeah, like not, I mean, understand what people are on a people, so they technically know everything, right? But they don't understand people, and they don't see what people are like manipulating them and stuff like that. Then you have a bad environment, a toxic environment, and those people will be at the top, and they'll just be toxic and toxic and toxic. And I know this is true, and people go, "Wow, that's people don't really do that." Nah, I've done it. I've been in a situation like that many a times, and you know, also I've seen people. Uh, I've talked to older people that have regretted being like that. That have admitted to being like that, and say, I was very competitive. I was very, I wanted to be the best, and I would put people down and stuff like that, and I regret it. I shouldn't have did that in my life, but I did. So yeah, it's terrible. All right, let's do this. All right, what is the biggest bang? Oh wait, we didn't see who she was. Okay, here's her stuff. Okay. Deidre Diamond is the CEO and founder of CyberSN.com, a cybersecurity research and staffing company, and founder of BrainBabe.org, a cybersecurity not for profit organization. Her vision and leadership have resulted in a dramatic decrease in the frustration, time, and costs associated with job searching and hiring for cybersecurity professionals. I like that. Prior to CyberSN, Deidre was the CEO of Percussion Software, the first VP sales of Rapid7. Oh, awesome. And NASDAQ RPD. Oh, man, I'm trying to open this window. It is hot in here. Man. Okay. Deidre leads with a strong commitment to transparency, equality, training, support, high productive, and love in the workforce. All right. What is the biggest bang for your buck actions that an organization can take to improve its cybersecurity posture? Have succession planning that offers training. Otherwise, you will not retain your talent. See, now I like this lady because she is obviously trained in. Um, I would say leadership, but I would say like innovation, um, and different way of thinking, right? And this is on some higher level stuff, right? A lot of people don't understand that it starts with their people, right? So you have to have the people, you know, uh, and you have to train them, and you have to keep them motivated, interested in this staying at a place. And if they're not talented, I mean, if they're talented, they're in it, and they're not being taken care of, or provided things, training, or improvement or pathways for their success, then they're going to go somewhere else, especially money wise, monetarily. So it's a tricky thing, but I've seen people, and I had a lot of coworkers and constituents that I work with, right? And these are software engineers and electrical engineers and stuff. And sometimes the money comes in, right? And I'm not getting paid enough. I'm going to start looking, whatever. But then if I've seen, so the company comes in and says, hey, we're going to give you a promotion. We're gonna give you an opportunity, to paid training, and we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that for you. Don't leave, and then we'll see about getting you some pay raises if we can. And it usually has kept the people that I've seen complain happy, because they're doing something uh, and offering something other than just money, even though the money that they do offer them is what 3% or something. And they might give them if they meet some kind of goal, give them a little bit more in the middle of the year. But it's not what they want. They can get 20 grand more somewhere else, right? But then that's the thing. They're gonna go 20. So that company can lose that talent over little things. But if you offer them things like what she's saying, training and stuff like that, they might stay. Okay, and I've seen it. Um, let's go to another one. What qualifications do you believe all highly successful cybersecurity professionals share? The ability to communicate in such a way that others feel good about the conversation, even if they had to concede or didn't get what they wanted. See, yeah, and if you look at her background and stuff, she's one she's looking at the team dynamics, and she's looking at the philosophy of leadership. She's looking at um, um, you know like I said, team dynamics and stuff. She's looking at innovative and environmental things and stuff. She's looking at, I would say, stuff like that, because if you're it's a whole nother way of looking at teams that a lot of great companies are doing. So if you look at like Lego, and you look at maybe she's Rapid, she's got Rapid 7. I'm sure that's a great company. I don't know, at that level, right? That's doing those things and stuff. These companies are working on different philosophies in the human structure and the team structure, right? And cybersecurity professionals are just humans. We're people on a team. And if so she's looking at communication. She's looking at self personal growth and stuff like that. That's awesome, because if you have somebody like that in charge, then you're going to be heard, right? I was working at a company once, and I said something about an employee that was being very um, you know negative and stuff like that. And it's funny because this the situation is basic 101 human resources. Those videos you watch for human resources on like on um, harassment. So there's like literally there's a video that they make you watch for no reason. If they're not even watching it themselves or implementing it themselves, but where like this employee is getting harassed. He's getting harassed by somebody, and the person is putting him down in private and saying, yeah, if you don't do your job, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna call you out on it, or he's saying all these things to this person in private, and then and then in public, that person at meetings is praising him, or behind his back to everybody else is praising him, saying, oh, he's good, I like him, and this and that. But then to his face is saying a whole nother thing. That's harassment, and that was in the video. was in that was in the video, the HR video, like literally, like, and they're like, what? This is a form of harassment, because if that person goes to his boss and says, hey, this person is telling me these things, these terrible things, and then the boss is gonna go, I don't believe it. They say nothing but good things about you. So that person is basically manipulating everybody around them, is what that person is, and that's harassment. So they're lying. They're lying just in case that person says anything. They know what they're doing. They're manipulative. And I was in a situation just like that. It was so funny. And my boss told me, basically said the same thing on the video. was like, I don't believe that person says great things about you. And I go, well, that I looked at her, my boss, and I was like, well, that's good, but that's not what she's telling me. Okay, or that's not what this person is telling me. They're telling me terrible things. They're not encouraging me. They're putting me down. They're saying, if you do something bad, I'm going to call you out on it. I don't think you can do this and all this stuff. But then they're telling you great things that makes no sense. So I don't, so a person like that, that's harassment, or that's terrible. It needs to be brought up. You need to talk about it and say, hey, what are you doing here? What is your goal? Are you trying to help this person succeed on your team, or are you trying to put him down? You're telling other people that he's good or she's good, but then you're telling them that you're gonna call them out and put them down if their work's not good and this and that. I mean, what are you trying to accomplish here? So there needs to be a discussion, and there needs to be a mature enough leader to communicate that, whether that person or the other person don't want to, didn't get what they wanted, or didn't hear what they wanted. They both might not. So I might not have heard what I wanted from that, from my mature leader, and neither would the other person that I thought was just way off, way off. But we needed to communicate that and conversate about it and figure it out. So that's how I see this. So this lady is, I like this already. All right, let's go to another one. Um, let's do Jim Monaco. Oh man, this guy looks cool already. Jim Manico. Learn to code. No matter what else you do in security, it will augment your career and capabilities. I agree with that. That's why I went from electrical engineering technician to programming, because I knew that I had to learn that either way. Because coding is a really fundamental staple in STEM. And I don't care what area you go, you can get into web designing, you can get into cyber, you can get into even electrical engineering. Coding is going to help you stand out more than somebody that doesn't code in that same industry, and you will get more responsibilities. Well, I mean, it ain't necessarily a good thing, but you'll also get more respect if you do well in it, right? So I know an electrical engineer that knows how to code, that teaches coding, and she has progressed in her career a lot, and she can do a lot of coding, electrical engineering projects, right? And I know some electrical engineer dudes or whatever that will not learn coding. They hate coding, and do not even want to look at code, and they're just all electrical engineering, which is fine. But can you imagine if that person did learn to code, and then they would get better responsibilities. They would learn new things. They'd probably branch off into more money or something. Anyways, it's great. I agree with that. All right, let's do the first one. Is there one myth that you could debunk in cybersecurity? What would it be? That input validation is enough to stop injection. Okay, he's talking about SQL injections or something. Programmers need to master other techniques like query parameterization and proper escaping to stop the various forms of injection. See, that's something I didn't know. That's awesome. Obviously, this guy's a. Oh, we didn't. Man, why I always skip the this part? All right, hold on. Here's his information. Manico.com. Okay, Jim Manico. I'm just gonna call him Manico. Is the founder of Manico Security, where he trains software developers. So he's a software guy on security coding and security engineering. Awesome. He is also the founder of Infrared Security and Breaksman Security, and is an investor advisor for Signal Science and Bit Discovery. Jim is a Java champion and member of Java 1 Rockstar speaker community. Java. He is the author of Ironclad Java, building secure web applications from McGraw Hill and Oracle Press. Jim also volunteers for the OWASP Foundation, where he helps build application security standards and other documentation. For more information, see this. He's got a LinkedIn profile. Germanico. Yeah, so this makes sense now. He's a software guy. Okay. What is your advice for career success when it comes to getting hired, climbing the corporate ladder, or starting a company in cybersecurity? Chop the corporate ladder into firewood and use it to start a campfire. I like that guy. where you get really where you get really drunk or have some other life altering experience where you finally decide to start your own company and become an independent consultant or entrepreneur. Oh, that's a good one, dude. This dude is just that literally I think defined who he is. Chop the corporate ladder into firewood and use it to start a campfire. Damn, I like that one. Uh, the corporate ladder. If you want to be into, if you want to be a corporate guy and you want to climb that corporate ladder, climb that corporate ladder. Just remember, don't sell your soul. Don't sell your soul, man. And if you gotta sell your soul, then maybe and you're fine with that, and you're like, yeah, I'm fine with that. Then do it. You'll just be in line with a bunch of other douchebags that are you're gonna be working with a bunch of other douchebags that did the same thing as you, and they'll do it to you too. You know, people that are gonna tell you one thing to your face and then go and tell somebody else different. Um, let's do this one. What's your favorite hacker movie? The 1995 movie Hackers with Angelina Jolie. The fire sprinkler system going off is my first security memory. Dude, this guy, that is, look at him. He looks like he would say something like that. Like my first security memory, and I know it's not because the guy was actually able to hack the sprinkler system. We all know why that was his favorite security memory. We all know why, because Angelina Jolie is in it. That was funny though. That made my day. What is the biggest mistake you've ever made, and how did you recover from it? You have to bake me. You have to take me to dinner first, and then tell me sweet nothings before I tell you that one. this dude, this dude is funny. Damn, that made my day. That dude is funny, dude. For real though, like I'm not gonna tell you my biggest. What is my biggest mistake? I've got plenty of them, but the biggest one, I don't know. That's funny. All right, so let's do what? I don't know if you guys are having fun. Do one more. Let's do another girl. Uh, Atha Asta Singal. For me, regularly thinking through and writing down my top personal commitments helps me not overcommit and make sure I consistently giving my best to whatever I commit to. You know what? I freaking like that. And see, and that's okay. We're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna do one, just this last one. We're gonna wrap this up. It's gonna be about 40 minutes already. It's cool though. We're spending time together. We're learning. We're talking. Um, that's why I like doing these Try for Hacker videos. Uh, I like that. I really like that because you can get lost on things that you don't want to do. I've done this. You want to know what you want to do, okay? You want to know what you want to learn, and if you don't write those down or like I write them down. I've been writing them down my whole life. I've got everything written down. I've got hey, I want to study this martial art. I want to study. I want to get this degree. I want to do this, and they're gonna change. But you don't want to do start wandering off and then get lost. I mean, and then end up somewhere that you're like, how the hell did I get here? How did I end up here? Like, why am I in this back room working on this by myself now? And is this where I wanted to be? I mean, a lot of people do that, and I found myself doing that. as a tech. I didn't want to. I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to continue to learn something new. So I wrote down. I said I want to learn software, and I could have got lost in that tech role where I was just staying in tech, which is fine because I love being a tech. That's my heart, my roots. But I wrote it down what I wanted to be and what I wanted to learn, and I looked up YouTube videos on software engineers, and I got motivated, and they stayed on track. Once I accomplished that, and I found that I didn't really want to do that forever, I found something else, cybersecurity, and I stayed on track. So I like that. Do that. It'll always help you stay on track. That's how I see that. Okay, Ashta Singal leads the application security team at Netflix that secures all the application in Netflix's cloud infrastructure. Prior to this, she managed the App Exchange security review on Salesforce product security. She is a security engineer by qualification who is passionate about proactive security and developer enablement. She is also an active member of the Bay Area security community as an organizer of conferences like AppSec USA and B-Sides SF, San Francisco. All right, if there is one myth that you could debunk in cybersecurity, what would it be? The biggest myth I think there is in cybersecurity is that it's the unique thing that only a handful of people who have this undefinable skill set can do. Damn, I agree with that. But that's really not true. There's also so many different roles in security, and we need lots of help. I like that. Yeah, that's basically what the degree that I am doing in. It's more of the operational side. It's in its degree name. Cyber operations and resilience. It's not really a technical degree, and so that's why I supplement a lot of my technical stuff on my own. So I'll go and I'll learn Linux and all that on my own, even though I have classes in that. But it's not a degree specifically technical for one area. It's a degree to open your mind to all the areas of cybersecurity and all its facets, and then it's my responsibility from what I understand to go out and go learn all these other things on my own, right? And I like that, right? I like that. I'm learning a hell of a lot from my master's degree in like the operational side. Zero trust architecture and stuff like that. But all right, let's do. What is your advice for career success when it comes to getting hired? Combining. Oh no, we already did that one. Oh yeah. What is the? Let's do this one too. What is the best book or movie that can be used to illustrate cybersecurity challenges? Okay. I think for someone new in application security, The Tangled Web is a great read to understand how we get here in terms of web security and the internet. The Tangled Web. I'm gonna have to look that one up. Let's do that real quick. I mean, might as well. This is what we do. This is what we do. Cool. ChatGPT. Let's see if we can. Ah. Uh, this one. I don't know. Yeah, I'll probably look it up in Amazon, and we'll come back to that one. I don't know. What is your favorite hacker movie? Hackers is definitely a classic. I mean, everybody loves hackers. Everybody does. What is your favorite book for motivation, personal development, or enjoyment? Multipliers. How's the best leaders make everyone smarter? Yeah, I love that. I'm about to look that up. The Phoenix Project, a novel about IT, DevOps, and helping your business win. See, I would say the greatest leaders and all that, greatest minds are avid readers of stuff like that. And my philosophy on leaders, they're rare, and uh, great leader no good leaders or great leaders are the rarest, because their leaders are a dime a dozen. You can have a leader that knows their stuff, and they've been there for 1,000 years, and they whatever, but they're terrible, and they're not willing to change. They're lazy and all. They're not willing to think or take their leadership serious, and those ones are terrible, and they shouldn't be leaders. But but they're still a leader because they had courage enough to step into that role, right? So in that case they're rare, because not everybody wants to step into that role. I mean, they're still leaders, but they're not good or great. Those are the most rarest of all. Is the great leaders. It's like finding a four-leaf clover or something. You know what I mean? Out of three-leaf clovers. I haven't really had a really great leader, unfortunately. Um, Maybe somebody that was a good leader, that wasn't terrible, but you know when you get these great leaders, and then you'll know. And those guys aren't letting you. The great leaders not just letting you get away with mediocrity and letting you just slide. And oh, that's the best boss I ever had. Why? Because they don't care. They don't really. They care about your success, maybe, but they don't. But they lack in all these other areas for your convenience. Okay, wait. What is a life hack that you will like to share? What's the biggest mistake you've ever made, and how did you recover from it? Let's see if she answers this. On one of my first engagements as an associate product security engineer, I ended up taking the hard line on security and preventing a team from shipping their weekly release on Wednesday evening just because I wasn't done finishing security testing and couldn't sign off. So I didn't even have concrete evidence of open security issues. The engineering leaders from the team obviously ended up really upset about this. At the time, given my limited exposure to the industry, I thought I was doing the right thing and making sure I could ensure security of the product before it shipped. The next day, my leadership found out what had happened and was very calm about it. They definitely had my back, but gave me critical and direct feedback on what I did wrong. See, that's awesome. It helped me grow out of the mindset of only the technical things matter. It also laid a foundation for understanding risk management, security enablement, and collaboration. Awesome. And understanding the web application security concept was definitely a good starting point. What did she do? One of my first engagements as associate product security engineer, I ended up taking the hard line on security and preventing a team from shipping their weekly release one Wednesday evening just because I wasn't fit. Oh, okay. So she made an executive decision not to ship something because she thought it wasn't ready technically. She took the hard line on security. She found out that she should have collaborated more, and found out, yeah, that makes sense. Do Doug Song. I don't want to do Doug Song. We'll see. See, what I do is I read this on my own. Like, this is just a fun read. So, what did we learn? We learned a lot. And if you go through that book, you'd probably learn a lot. And you got to remember, not everybody has the best advice. Okay. I would encourage all people to take all advice with a grain of salt. Um, Listen to people's advice, listen to their experiences, but take it with a grain of salt. In other words, sift through it, put it against your own experiences. Don't be unwise and not listen to people's advice, but I would think for yourself is what I would say. So like a book like this is awesome. You're gonna read it, and you're gonna get all this. I wouldn't take everything to heart. Is what wouldn't do. I would I would take everything into consideration. How about that? There you go. Taking everything into consideration. Read, if you're gonna read something like this, or even everything I say, everything these people say, take into consideration. Don't take to heart. Use your own mind to judge for yourself. Now, sometimes you'll do that and you'll think like, oh yeah, they were wrong, and then later on, 10, 15 years later, you'll look back and go, no, they were right. It's like, no, they were right. They were absolutely right. It just depends on what the person that you are at the time, and how you accept advice, or or you don't take things to heart. You know, it just depends on who you are at that time when you reflect back on the advice you were given. Right? So I was given some advice a long time ago when I was a child. I was like probably 15, and my grandmother uh, told me, "Don't talk to this person because they're nuts." And I remember trying to judge for myself, and I met the person, talked to him, really, really cool, didn't seem nuts. And I just, in the back of my mind, I just thought, well, I judged for myself. They weren't nuts. She's obviously wasn't right. And then 2, 3 years later, I realized that person was probably just on their medication. It was like, I'm not talking about 2 years later. It was like 15 years later. As I got older as an adult, I went, oh, they were probably on medication at the time. They were nuts. I just caught them on a good day. So this is the wisdom that you get as you get older. So I changed. I thought, so I should have listened to her advice. But the thing is, you have to take it with a grain of salt. Take advice, judge for yourself. Life's hard. But yeah, I would just, like a book like this, I would read it and I would agree, I would disagree with it, I would agree with stuff, disagree with stuff, and then I would just take it into consideration. And that's it. All right, that's Tribe of Hackers, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I did. I had fun. I mean, I love these non-technical videos I make. They give me a break from the technical ones and zeros, and let's run this through this and stuff like that. And they just give me a little break, the swelling on my brain, just to do something relaxing, something where we can learn philosophically and stuff like that, and then try to grow. You know. All right, that was HackTheFile, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.